Welcome everyone to today's Power Up with Keyzy. Today, our goal is to really help you take your facilities to the next level with door access control. So whether you're looking to add access into your gyms, daycare, or at your community center, Keyzy can help you with that. And so today, our agenda is first we want to give the floor to Keyzy. Again, they're going to be going over their product and that they're going to be running through a slideshow. After that, we're actually going to be able to have the Jen demo how you can easily set up Keyzy within minutes within RecDesk. And then we'll kind of end the day with any questions that you might have for either us or Keyzy. So with that, Jen, I'm going to let you take it away.
Welcome, everyone. Actually, I'm not going to be the one that starts off today. We're going to introduce Evangeline from Keyzy, and she's going to take over sharing her screen so that she can go ahead and show us how access control is going to show you what access control is, what Keyzy is, so that you get a better understanding as to how this could help your organization, especially for things like scanning into buildings or anything of that nature. So I'm going to let her take over right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jen and Tom, for the introduction. And again, welcome to everyone. I'm glad to see we actually have attendees from all over the country, East Coast, West Coast, Central Coast. That's great. Let me go ahead and just quickly share my screen. All right. Hopefully everybody can see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So again, thank you for everyone for joining us today to learn more about how you can keep your spaces safe and secure using Keyzy and RecDesk together. But before we begin, I do want to quickly introduce myself. Again, my name is Angeline, and I'm one of the access control experts at Keyzy, based out of New York. And my focus is to really discover our clients' access control needs through understanding why they're looking for a solution, so perhaps any recent pain points you might be going through, and then also understanding the entire scope of your project. So we do work with clients who need access control on as little as one door in one building, all the way up to hundreds of doors across multiple buildings and multiple locations. From there, I will suggest the best solution and, of course, facilitate the onboarding process as well. And then going into some background on Keyzy and who we are as a company. I know it's a lot of words on the screen, so I'll just quickly summarize. We did start in 2012. And our goal was to not be just another access control company. So it sounds like some of you guys are already using access control, which is great. So you're familiar with the goal of it. But we really wanted to become more of a modern physical security solution. And it does really more than just eliminate the need for physical keys. What that means is it actually works alongside work tools you're possibly already using, including RecDesk. The reason for this is that we wanted to create a system that is easy to use. A lot of these other access control systems are a little bit outdated, which I'll go into in a little bit. But this really will save administrators time. It results in fewer interruptions, and it also creates an overall more positive work experience for the end user, for both your members and also your employees. One other thing we wanted to do is create something that's future-proof. So our product is a combination of software and hardware that works together. So whenever we do launch new features, new integrations, create any updates to our system, we pretty much automatically issue those updates to our clients through an over-the-air update in real time, similar to the way some of you might see a software update on your Apple or Android smartphones. So with that said, today we do secure over 300,000 users at companies across the globe in multiple industries, including technology, real estate, and manufacturing, to name a few. But in recent years, and especially in the last few months with everything going on, we've really found a great interest from recreation spaces as well. So including, municipal recreation departments, community centers, ski resorts and lodges, and even like HOAs and residential communities. So this is something that we noticed was pretty much a trend in the last few years. One common thing that we noticed in our conversations with these recreation spaces is that they either used or were looking to use some sort of membership management system. And that's actually how we discovered our partnership with RecDesk, and the integration between our softwares was built at that point. With the integration, it does make it easy to determine which facilities members can access, but more importantly, it gives you an easy opportunity to keep your spaces, doors, facilities safe and secure for both customers and employees as well. Now, before actually diving into like Keyzy as a platform and also the integration itself, maybe not all of you are currently using access control, and you're probably wondering what it actually is. So again, like I mentioned before, we do provide a combination of hardware and software. So this is actually a component of hardware, and this is the mobile app, a quick snapshot of the mobile app. But basically, it allows you to manage who has access and when they have access to certain areas of your facility. So I'll give you a very basic example. Let's picture a park with public restrooms, and those public restrooms are typically unlocked from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Those are the hours of the day when members are allowed to access the restrooms. Without access control, someone has to physically go unlock and lock those doors every day at those times. Now, with Keyzy access control, you can actually create what's called a scheduled unlock, and the doors would automatically unlock at 7 a.m. and automatically lock at 7 p.m. As you can actually see on this mobile application, it's showing that 2 doors in this office are currently unlocked, and that's due to a scheduled unlock, which is pretty cool. So this physical aspect of going back and forth to the doors to unlock them, and I just mentioned maybe 2 doors, but a lot of facilities have multiple buildings where they have to send people to lock and unlock doors all the time. This is just really one pain point that I've uncovered in several of my conversations. But on this next slide, you can see that there are, plenty of common struggles that I've heard, and I'll share specific use cases for each. So the common struggles that I'd like to talk about today are members sharing access with non-members, managing too many physical keys, which it sounds like some of the attendees today are currently issuing keys to their members as well. And then, of course, dealing with an outdated, possibly non-functioning access control system. The common, pain point across all these things is that it's resulting in time wasted, basically through inefficiencies, sometimes lost revenue, and also unmotivated employees. And those are all things we aim to solve since we started the company on day one. So let's take a look at use case 1, which is members sharing access. So I've heard a lot of these, an example of a community center. It sounds like a lot of you guys have like gyms that you're looking to secure. So this option could also become an issue, not only for pools, but gyms as well. But I've spoken to a lot of centers that either have a members-only pool or members-only gym, that they're using a pin pad with a code as a form of access control that is, of course, shared across all their members and their employees. Now, the issue with this is that members can, of course, easily share the code with friends and family who are non-paying members. And similarly, let's say an employee quits or gets fired, it becomes a security issue. And overall, for the facility managers and directors, it becomes a hassle to continually change that code and then re-notify and share it with everybody who's supposed to have access. Now, with Keyzy and RecDesk together, members are automatically granted access to specific doors based on their specific membership, and they can enter the space using either a key card, fob, or what most of our clients use, and possibly some teenagers, they would use their smartphone. And this, of course, is less likely to be shared with others. It's something they always have on them. They just tap their phone to the reader. Given that they have access to that door, they would be the door would be unlocked. Similarly, if they're no longer a member, if they're no longer an employee, their access would just be automatically revoked. Next is the issue of managing too many physical keys. So this might be relatable for some of you, but a lot of times community centers have a rentable event space. And I've heard so many times that facility managers or office managers are handing out physical keys to the space for, let's say, a 4-hour reservation. And then they also are responsible for retrieving those keys again at the end of the reservation. One of the main issues with this is that, of course, someone always has to be available to issue those keys and get those keys back. But oftentimes guests end up staying past their reservation, which ends up creating a poor customer experience for the next guest who reserved the next time slot. Now with Keyzy and RecDesk, you can actually issue temporary mobile guest keys that expire at a certain time. And eliminating that human interaction and just issuing like an automated mobile key can actually help enforce timeliness, because with the reservation, you can notify your customer that this key is only valid up until this time, and they will no longer be able to enter the space after that, and they can basically plan accordingly to wrap up their event. And then the last example is with the case of, let's say, a residential community using access control to manage upwards of 1,000 residents. With outdated systems, these are some of the pain points that I've heard from our clients. There's usually only 1 or 2 trained staff members. The system crashes a lot, doesn't function very well, it's very outdated, and that ends up requiring scheduled maintenance by the company, which is very hard to get in touch with a lot of the times. Their support team is super busy, and usually they're global companies, so it's very hard to get in touch. And then the last part of it is they just have to manage so many different members with a very difficult to use user interface. So the issue here is that tenants are actually moving out of their apartments. Leases are ending every single month, and it's up to just 1 or 2 staff members to now make sure that there aren't active fobs floating around for users that shouldn't have it. So that's kind of where Keyzy comes in. Keyzy is really more of a modern user-friendly interface that allows you to add and remove members with just a couple of clicks of a button, and it even streamlines it even more with the integration through RecDesk. Now on the support side, since we are cloud-based, we offer free remote onboarding and continued support, unlike other companies where it's 9 to 5 and you have to schedule an on-site maintenance appointment. And you can also have an unlimited number of admins managing multiple locations and multiple buildings, and it's very easy for them to use it. But I think the best way for you guys to actually get an idea of how modern and easy it is to use would be to show you some features that might be relevant to your guys' spaces and actually show you that through a live demo. So a couple of things I'll be focusing on are the scheduled unlock that I mentioned earlier, and then some security features such as place-wide and door-specific lockdowns, and also event logs. And then, of course, we're also going to show you how to create an access group, which is the most important feature that ties together with RecDesk specifically. Let me go ahead and pull up the dashboard. And of course, I'll open it up to questions at the end, as Jen and Tom had mentioned. So here is the Keyzy web dashboard. This is currently one of our buildings or places. For example, if you are a facility that would like to put access control on multiple buildings or multiple locations, you can actually manage each place all in one dashboard. There's no need for individualized systems or local servers. So for the sake of this demo, we'll go ahead and click into one of the places. And you can see that this place has 165 members, 7 different access groups, and 4 different doors. And this is actually one of our newer features that was highly requested by our clients. Part of what we do is take in feedback from our clients, our partners, and continue to build out features that will help you guys succeed and make your lives easier. So this place lockdown has been highly requested with the pandemic, a lot of offices shutting down, recreation spaces, educational facilities shutting down. So this basically, when enabled by an administrator, when toggled on, will prevent anybody at all from accessing any of the doors connected to Keyzy, even if they have permissions at this time to actually enter the space. The only people that can bypass this is, of course, the administrator. So that's a place-wide lockdown. Similarly, on an individual door level, you can also click into a door. So just to show you quickly, when you click your doors, you'll get a quick snapshot of how many doors are being connected to Keyzy, and you can go ahead and manage each door individually. And if you want to lock down just a specific door, you can do that as well, and it will lock it for everyone. Going back to the doors main page, you can see that 3 out of the 4 doors are currently locked. The reason this one is unlocked is because it has the scheduled unlock, which is very easy to implement as well. So going down here, you can see that this main entrance has a recurring scheduled unlock Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Very easily toggle that on and off. Very easily add another unlock. Let's say, for example, you have a special event taking place on a weekend. Maybe you have a town hall event on a Wednesday evening. You can just make a single event happen all day, or you could do a specific start time and end time, and that would populate underneath, and you can turn that on and off as needed and delete them as well. A couple of other cool things with that is if you want to let somebody into your space remotely, let's say somebody forgot their credentials, or you're just letting in a temporary contractor, you can actually just press the button to unlock either directly on this web dashboard, or if you have the mobile app, you can do it from the phone as long as you have administrator permissions. So you don't have to worry about, regular users remotely unlocking doors by mistake. The other thing I want to show you is another security feature, which is called our event logs. So when you click events, you're basically going to see every single thing that's taking place in your space. However, you can, of course, filter out what event that you're looking for. So maybe you're looking to see every member who unlocked the pool gate entrance from Sunday to Tuesday. So you can basically create different filters, and all of those specific events will show up instead of everything all at once. So this is showing you all administrator events, it's showing you unlocks and things like that, but you can filter to be more specific as well. Now, the last feature I want to show you is our access groups. This is really the key feature, again, that will be communicating with RecDesk to basically enable certain members to access certain areas of your facility. So with groups, it allows you to limit the number of doors the users can have access to. So although this location has 4 doors connected to Keyzy, this specific group only has access to 2 doors. So this one we called swimming pool access, and you can write out a description. For example, if they only should access those 2 doors from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., you can also put a time restriction on the group, recurring Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and starting at a certain time and ending at a certain time. So you can also put a time restriction on a group level. Now going back to our slides here, this swimming pool access group will automatically, or you would assign it to a specific membership group within RecDesk. And Jen is going to kind of walk you through what that looks like on the RecDesk side in a little bit. Okay, so the next part of it is probably like you're asking yourselves, what do I actually need to implement the software and all of this to start working? So really what you would need is to, and some of you already have access control, so it's kind of like replacing it, but you would either need to install Keyzy readers and electric locks at your access points that you're looking to secure, or just replace the ones that you already have with Keyzy. And this will allow for mobile access, automated check-ins, which is another part of the integration. So whenever somebody does actually use a Keyzy credential to enter a Keyzy secured facility, that will automatically check them in RecDesk as well. So it's all streamlined. It will also allow for temporary guests through reservations. And of course, on a security level, it will allow for remote access management. So when you do those quick unlocks, and of course, lockdown on either a place level or a door level. Now, in terms of cost breakdown, it really is on a case-by-case basis. It depends on the scope of the project. It depends on what existing locking hardware you have. If you have access control already, really that will all affect the ultimate cost of everything. But it's really broken down into 3 components. 2 are one-time upfront costs, which are hardware and installation. So hardware consists of a controller, a reader, and then credentials if you choose to go that route. Installation can vary from replacing locks, running wiring, and then doing system configuration and testing. It could be part or all of it. And then the software is like a recurring license, similar to how you have a RecDesk subscription as well. So a lot of our clients end up going with a 3-year or 5-year license to kind of bundle it with all the other upfront costs, and they don't have to worry about it for a while. And it does bring the costs down quite a lot as well. So if you are looking for a specific quote or an accurate estimate for your project, it's really recommended to get in touch with someone on the Keyzy sales team, and we will share our information with you to get in touch at the end of this PowerUp. But just as a reminder, before I pass it off to Jen, the benefits that you'll really get through Keyzy and RecDesk, we are, again, not just like any other access control company. The point of the integration is to streamline processes for you guys even more. And we were constantly listening to your feedback and building out features based on the pain points you will be telling us. So overall, you're going to be saving time. It sounds like a lot of you are issuing physical keys to members. That's also costly, timely, and so you will eventually save money. You can seamlessly manage multiple buildings across multiple locations. Of course, very important with everything going on, and just in general, you want to be able to keep your spaces safe no matter where you are. And then, as mentioned, modernize your physical security systems and keep you up to date with all of the new features that we're releasing. Specifically, the RecDesk and Keyzy for reservations is a feature that's coming very soon. So with that said, I'll pass it off to Jen to show you guys the RecDesk side, and then we can open it up to questions.
Hey everyone, so as you can see, when you do go with a company, go with Keyzy, and when you connect them, there's a little bit of work that you need to do on their back end. Once you get that made, there's very little you need to do over here on the RecDesk side. So once you get your Keyzy setup complete, on your membership, you're going to have an additional tab called Access Control. This is where you're going to choose who has that membership and what area or areas they have access to. Now, as you can see, simple check boxes. So as soon as you have selected the items that you want connected, you just hit that OK, and this will give them access. Now I'm going to head over to my members tab because I did enroll myself in this membership. The other two pieces to be aware of, all the check-ins are going to be tracked. So if you scan themselves in the door, it is going to communicate with RecDesk, and that will be included on all of our check-in reports throughout the system. If they're not using the Keyzy app and connecting their email, you're going to want to hit this edit profile, and in member ID, this is where you put their Keyzy number. And then scroll down and hit save. And under the access control tab within a member's profile, you're going to see what levels of memberships they have to know what access they have. And right here is where you can edit the card. And if it's mobile app, you could just change it to mobile, or you can give them card access and put the card token here. And that's one of the scanning, something you'll be able to scan in, or you can revoke access. I know some of you folks always ask me this question when things go wrong. How do you stop somebody from being able to enter the building? Revoking their access would be the fastest way. And any of these changes, once you make them, you'll just hit save, and it'll resync the information here. And all of that is going to show up on their member check-ins, on the facility, on the check-ins tab, as well as under the reports, the facility check-in report. And that's how easy it'll be for everyone. So we can go ahead now and we can open up the floor for any questions that we may have.
Yes, Jen, while you're still here, would you also be able to show the check-in screen and how you can still pull those reports, and maybe talk a little bit about how this affects Silver and Fit and all of those other fitness programs?
Yes, so you are not going to need our check-in screen. This is something that would be more secondary. And to use a good example, I have a group that requires people to use key fobs to enter their building, and then they actually have an attended check-in station outside of one piece of their building. And so you can use that same key fob to let people in, and then have a secondary area where you can say, we're at this location, and you can physically still scan people in here. So this area of scanning people in, or if you wanted to put them into something, like say they're there for a specific program, you can enable the program or event selection and still check them in and complete your check-in. This will work secondary to Keyzy. So if people are being scanned into that facility at the same time from the badge scan and you have attended, when you click the See All Facility Check-in, you're going to be able to pull all the check-in information for that area, for that particular location. And this you can export to Excel and still pick and choose your field. And this you'll still be able to generate out to Excel. So for those of you who work with the Department of Agriculture, or those of you who work with Silver and Fit or Silver Sneakers, or any of those types of categories, because you can pull all of the members' profile information on this piece, what it connects for Keyzy is those, if you're storing their Silver and Fit or their Silver Sneakers number as part of their profile, these reports are the ones that you're able to import into those systems in order to receive your payment from those organizations. It also will be the same situation for those of you who may work with the Department of Agriculture. Every door scan would count as one of those scans that you'd be able to report back to the Department of Agriculture, but still have those custom member fields pull in a report. It will also pull on the Reports tab when you do a facility program check-in report. Did that cover everything, Tom?
Yeah, that was about it. I do have several other questions coming in, so don't go too far.
Okay.
This next one is back for Keyzy. So can this be utilized for outdoor facilities such as tennis courts, picnic tables, no, not picnic tables, sorry, picnic sites, etc.?
Yes, thank you so much for the question. Yes, it absolutely can be used for outdoor spaces as well. A lot of pool gates are outdoors, garage entrances are outdoors. I just spoke to a client recently who is looking to secure the tennis courts, or I believe it's called pickleball courts. I'm not too sure, but as long
Pickleball.
as pickleball, yeah, okay, so that was it. But as long as the area has access to power and internet, it absolutely can work. And I can kind of address the next question from Nancy at the same time. So our system is typically hardwired. That's our recommendation in terms of functionality. It also does work with Wi-Fi, however, but in terms of required wiring, our readers are power over Ethernet, so it requires Cat6 cabling to a PoE switch. And then our system is compatible with electronic locks, such as electric strikes or magnetic locks, just depending on the type of door. And that would be connected to our controller using low voltage 18.2 or 18.4 wiring. And these are all specifications and information we can share with you if you have a contractor, electrician looking at the space for an installation. We, of course, provide all of those details to you as part of the initial discovery and onboarding process.
And then I did have a question that came up in the first Power Up. And I know I experienced this a lot when I was working with the parks, and it is just too good not to ask here. So let's say that a wedding reservation comes in and they prop a door open for
Mhm.
the caterers to get in. Can you talk a
Mhm.
little bit about what happens when doors get propped open, and how Keyzy reacts to that?
Yes, absolutely. Great question, Tom. So we always recommend when you're doing your installation of the system, or if you're using one of our third-party integrators that's familiar with our system, we always recommend installing a contact sensor on each of the doors. A contact sensor allows Keyzy to basically notify administrators when a door is held ajar through one of our features called alert policies. So as an administrator, you can create a custom alert that will notify you when, let's say, the pool or let's say the event hall door is held open for greater than or equal to 10 minutes. If you want it to be less than that, you can customize it. And of course, there has to be, in any sort of business, some sort of human intervention at some point. So once you get notified, that's something you can very quickly look into, as opposed to having it stay ajar all day, overnight, multiple days without anybody ever knowing. So that basically would solve that issue. So having a contact sensor installed at the door, and then customizing different alert policies in the Keyzy dashboard that you can then get notified about as you're managing your space.
Awesome, thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Of
And
course.
then Lori also asked, and this is for Jen, but she was wondering, when a membership expires, does it also expire their access to Keyzy and being able to open up that door? And the answer is yes. When a membership does expire, or that account is maybe suspended because they stopped paying their bill, they will no longer be able to access those doors until they re-enroll or pay their bill. Now, it's not going to automatically suspend it if they stop paying. That takes some human intervention on your side to be able to stop that.
Yes, and Tom is correct on that. You still have to suspend their profile the way you would now if they didn't make a payment and you didn't want them to have access to do anything within the system. The only difference between the way the suspension works now and with Keyzy is, actually, we should ask Keyzy since they're on the phone, if you could install a funny, loud noise that tells people that they can't enter because they no longer have something that's valid. We have this super fun noise that warns our customers so that when somebody scans in and their membership is expired, their profile suspended, something like that, it makes this horrible noise telling them no.
It's like an alarm.
Yep. Yep, and that's really the only difference. And actually on this screen right here, on the member's profile under access control, you can see the dates that that person has access from until. So if I were to go into my membership, let's just say, maybe I put the date in wrong. We all have those days. So if I backdate this and I go back into my profile, my access control date period will also update. So that's something to keep in mind too, is that if you guys need to change the term end dates for a membership for any reason, we're going to use COVID as the example of, for those of you who have memberships who maybe extended them for an extra 2 months or so just due to downtime. When you extend that membership end date or change it in any way, it's going to immediately affect their access control dates.
Yes, so just thank you for sharing that. So just also to confirm, if they have a 3-month membership and let's say it ends on August 1st, it'll automatically stop the membership as well. On August 2nd, they would no longer be able to log in or check into
Correct.
Awesome, thank you for that, Jen. Nancy's also asking, when installing a sensor on a door or a gate, will Keyzy be able to make an alarm if that door is left open if they've walked away, reminding them to come back and close it?
Yeah, so that is actually a great question, and I also think a great idea as opposed to even just getting a notification on your phone or computer dashboard. I will double check. We do integrate with pretty much every alarm system, like any alarm type. So I'm not sure if that would be something from the alarm company side or our side, but Nancy, I have that question already noted down, and we will make sure to get back to you either from my side or RecDesk side. We'll definitely notify you if that's a possibility today or in the future. Sounds like it should be though.
So we've had a lot of great questions so far. I don't think I've missed any, but if I did, I apologize. Feel free to drop the question back in the chat, or if you have any other questions, and we'll be happy to answer those. Yes. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, thank you. And then also this presentation will be made available. It'll be shared on our YouTube channel underneath our power-ups, and it might be underneath a new folder that Jen is going to be putting up there. But we'll also be emailing out this video shortly after, so you can all access it later on.
We also plan to start putting that information, the links to our recent power-ups here on the resources. So those of you who are on RecDesk who have been wondering what this button is when it pops out, this is basically your local resources. And we do plan to post a link so that you have quick access for a little while afterwards to be able to see the most recent power-up. So you should be able to see it here under latest announcements as soon as we get posted as well.
So Nancy's asking who is the contact that they can discuss some things that are site specific. And I know that you guys are going to be leaving your contact information at the chat. We can maybe even throw it in now so that way they have a contact to reach out to. We will also be reaching out to you guys in attending this meeting just to make sure that we're getting you all the information that you're looking for if you do want to choose to go with this integration with Keyzy and our partner. But otherwise, yes, all of these features are fantastic. I'm really excited that so many of you are here are interested in this today.
The attendees have a RecDesk representative they're working with already. They all have my email and contact information as well. So you can always inquire with your designated representative at RecDesk, and they will be able to also do an introduction via email to me. But feel free to email me directly. I just shared it in the chat.
Awesome.
And if you don't know who your representative is, or maybe you forgot who that is, we do know that happens over time. What we ask you to do is just email support@recdesk.com, and we'll go ahead and make sure that you get put in touch with the correct person.
And just wanted to clarify for reaching out to your representative here at RecDesk, if you remember your salesperson or your CSM, your customer success manager, you can reach out to any of them and we will connect you back a salesperson here at RecDesk who will be able to get you over to at Keyzy. So we all have their contact information. Any of us can get you in the right direction. But thank you everyone so far for all of your questions, and we'll keep the line open just to answer any additional questions that might come in. Oh, what about the install turnaround time? Do you know about how long that takes to typically get up and running?
Yes, absolutely. Great question again. So once you decide you would be ready to move forward with Keyzy, the next step would be for us to introduce you to one of our third-party integrators. That introduction almost always takes place immediately, meaning maybe within 24, 48 hours max. At that point, they would then coordinate with your schedule and visit your site and do a survey to put together an installation quote. That again would just take 1 to 2 weeks depending on your schedule when they can meet you. And then after that you basically just go ahead, purchase the system from us, which takes 3 to 5 days to arrive to you with UPS ground, and they would come back to your site pending an actual date that you guys organize for the actual installation. So first it's a site visit, they put together a quote, and then you guys decide on an installation date together. So it could happen very quickly. They could do the site visit immediately and then do an installation date a few months out. It all depends on your timeline, and we will make sure to work with you on that to get it done.
And after the installation, do you have a training that you do, or do you provide resources and documents to them?
Absolutely. So when we send you our hardware, it comes with onboarding documents and guidelines. You get a bunch of onboarding emails from our support team. We do set up a time to do like an onboarding call. But if you also are using one of our third-party integrators, part of that installation involves them configuring and testing the system with you. So that way you kind of have like someone in person also setting it up, and then we'll make sure everything's up and running on your dashboard and account in the beginning. Yep.
Wonderful. And then there'd also be a training with us just to make sure that we get you up and running on our side with Keyzy to make sure that you have the ability to have that access control tab within your system to connect with Keyzy.
Also, thank you to Megan for the kind words. We're happy you enjoyed the presentation.
All right. Well, thank you everyone again for attending today's Power Up, and a huge thank you to all of you over at Keyzy for being able to join us today on the call to answer these questions. That was a wonderful PowerPoint, Angeline, and we are so excited to have you working with us here at RecDesk. And again, thank you to everyone who had joined in today, and you'll hopefully be hearing from us very soon.
Thank you guys for having me. This was great. I really enjoyed it, and I hope that all of the attendees found some of the information useful. And if you have any other questions for me, you have my information, or you can again just contact RecDesk directly and they'll put you in touch. But again, thank you for joining, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their week.